Hey everybody, this is Stephen Ramsden with the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy Project. We did a Google Plus Hangout today, and I told these guys I would process an image and show it to them. So I'm not the world's best solar imager, but I'm pretty good at it. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Just checking my email. Okay, what we're going to do is start ASTRO IIDC. We're going to select a movie from today's catch. Let's see. How about this one? Okay. And it's asking me where do I want to store it. Well, let's store it in this folder right here. And it's going to say, okay, well, what kind of stuff do you want to do? I want to stack it in monochrome. I want to use small spacing. I want to choose a 64 by 64 pixel area for alignments. And we'll choose OK. Now it's going through the movie, and it is taking the 600 frames that I captured with a Grasshopper 5 megapixel camera using a iMac outside, and I put that into a Lunt Solar Systems double stacked 100 millimeter solar scope. And today the activity was not real high, but it's still really cool. So I selected one of the videos from that capture today, and I'm telling Astro IIDC, okay, here's my video. Go look at all the frames and arrange them in order of sharpness, from sharpest to least sharp. And that's what it's doing now. So while it's doing that now, I'll tell you a little bit about the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy Project. Started in 2008, and we use solar astronomy to teach students around the world a little bit about science, maybe get them involved in some science, because that's a good thing. And if you can get kids in middle school, say ages 8 to 12, you got a pretty good chance of steering them towards science if you can get them behind a telescope and show them what's going on. It still works the same way it used to work with us, in that people love to look through telescopes. And our goal is to take these telescopes to schools and public events and show people the sun, show them how cool science is. Maybe get them back into something that's good for them and also good for the community, because it's a pretty important stage of life, and you can either go bad or go good pretty quickly at that stage. So we try to give them something to do that is good for them and good for the community. And that's what the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy Project does. Our website is solarastronomy.org. We also have a fantastic Facebook group page that's also called the Charlie Bates Solar Astronomy Project. So I'd love for you to go join up over there and get involved with what we're doing. We don't sell anything. We don't have any gimmicks or salaries. Nobody makes any money. We're just trying to make the world a better place. And instead of complaining about everything on social media, we actually go out and do stuff to make it better. And then we talk about it on social media. So now Astro IIDC has came back and said, okay, here's where all your frames are in order of sharpness. Your sharpest one frame is right here. Today was not the best seeing ever, so the next sharpest frame is way down there. There's a total of 600 frames, and I like to have about 30 frames when I stack an image. 35 megapixel frames. So I'll say choose the best 33 frames. Then it comes up and says, okay, I chose the best 33 frames. Here's one of them. What areas do you want to stack? Well, I'm going to choose the sunspot and a couple other high contrast areas. And I'm going to choose one on the prominence area also. There's a little nice prominence down there, and there was a nice floater right over here, but it's a little bit too faint to stack on. So I'll just choose these areas and say, Astro IIDC, take these areas and make me a separate image for each area. What it does is it creates a finished image stacked on each of those individual areas, and then at the end it will create its own blended image of those areas. Sometimes that works good, sometimes it doesn't work so good. So when we get done, we'll have 6 or 7 images, and then we'll have a blended image, and we can go in and choose which one we like the best. Right now it's stacking on the second alignment point. Now it's on the third alignment point, and this is a 2008 Mac Pro that I'm using. It's got a quad core processor, about 3 gigahertz, and 32 gigs of RAM, I believe. 7-year-old Mac desktop, which equals a brand new PC times about 5 as far as speed goes. So I'm pretty happy with it. So we're on area 4 of 6 now. Now we're on area 5 of 6. See, it's pretty fast. Here we go, coming up on area 6 of 6. And like I say, when we get done, we're going to have a folder over here that has a bunch of stacked images in it. And we'll choose one and we'll go forth with the processing from there. So, there we go. Almost done. As you can see, this is a pretty quick program. A good bit quicker than the PC versions of stacking software. Okay, so here's our folder that has the finished stacked images. I'm going to get a preview of each one. Okay, there's one, not too bad. And again, you're looking for just stacked image. Haven't done any sharpening or anything yet. That one looks pretty good. Here's the blended image of all of them. That's a little blurry for my taste, so I'm going to choose one of the single areas. Let's try that one. Alright, so I'm going to drag this image over to Photoshop CS6, and there it is. And this is the actual installed on your computer version of Photoshop, not the subscription service. And the first thing I'm going to do is Smart Sharpen, which is what I always do first. Smart Sharpen, I'm going to choose maybe 3. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just a slight sharpen. It's always a good idea to sharpen a little less than you think you should, because you can always do it again, but it's real hard to back down from it. So there's Smart Sharpen. You can see we got nice prominences here. There's a floater. See how much easier it is to see this floater after you stack it and sharpen it? Okay. Now the obvious problem with this image is that the surface is blown out and too high. It's pretty bright. And that's necessary on this camera that I use, the Point Grey Grasshopper, to get the prominences and the surface detail in the same image, which is the way I like to do it. I'm going to go choose the magnet tool, start up here, and just simply draw a selection frame around the circular portion of the sun's disk. And this is the Photoshop magnet pick tool, magnet selection tool. So I like that. I messed that one up. If you screw up, you can hit the delete key and it'll erase the most recent point. So we'll keep going. It's really hard to draw a circle with a mouse. Alright, so there we go. Alright, so I've selected this area pretty accurately. I'm going to go in here and modify my selection by using the smooth command, 90 pixels. What that does is it takes out any bumps or unevenness and makes it a really nice sphere or circular shape. So we've got the surface selected. Now a lot of people will just go and start working on it like this. Let's say we did that and do this. Okay. Now, if I remove the selection, you can see there's a big, heavy, nasty, dark line. I don't like that. I don't want to do that. So step backwards, select, modify, feather. I'm going to feather it about 3 pixels. So any changes I make now will be smoothly blended into what's left. Okay? So let's go try some levels. What we're trying to do is get the surface a little bit darker, higher contrast. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay, so that, I'll do this. Okay, so now you can see the surface features a lot better. Okay, sometimes you still get a nasty line, sometimes you don't. So let's deselect and see what it looks like. Yeah, it's a whole lot better, isn't it, than it was. There's still a little bit of a line over here, but I think I'm going to go with that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let's reselect it, and here's a little trick. Just cut it and paste it. Then you can select it and make it just a little bit bigger. Don't tell anybody. That way it'll overlap that line over there. Ah, look at that. Now we're professionals. Okay, we cheated, but it still looks really, really natural. Okay, and the good thing about doing that is now you also have the background image and the surface image you can process separately. So let's take the background, which is the prominences, turn them up a little bit so we can see them a little better. Okay. Just play around until you like the way it looks. I like that. Okay, then let's take the surface image. Ooh, I see a little line up there. I'm going to make it a tad bigger. Well, don't be telling anybody all my secrets. Okay. I like that. Like that. You can use the arrow keys to move it up and down a little bit. All right. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and flatten these images back together. Flatten image. Now we've got a single image that looks a million times better than it did before. And you're just about done. You want to change your image mode to RGB color because you recorded in black and white monochrome. Now it's color, so I can add some color to it. I like to use curves, and I have some pre-selected defaults that I use a lot. There's orange fire, orange 3, gold, Friedman orange, or red, you know, whatever you like. So let's start with that one, but let's play with it a little bit. If you want to do it manually, then you just open up each channel and move the slider around until you like it. You know, you can, that's pretty cool. Let's do that. Let's do this. How about here? Yeah, you see you get a lot of variations with different slider positions. Let's try that one. And then go to green. Let's put the green over here. Oh, too red. All right, sir. How about that? That's pretty cool looking. There. Let's try nice and yellow. Let's try this. Blue, you always want at 0. All the way down, because blue sucks when you're doing solar imaging. You don't want any blue in your H-alpha image. So if you like that one, you can save it as a preset. Let's save it. Let's call it Google Orange or Google Yellow. Okay, so now if you like that one, next time you could just choose it from your list and say Google Yellow, and it'll apply it. There you go. Now we're just about done. In fact, we are done for a lot of people, but one thing I like to do is what's called iterative unsharp, where you go to the sharpen menu and choose the unsharp mask. And let's see, you just do a little bit of a sharpen, maybe 1.0 radius and I don't know, 45%. Just a very, very slight sharpen that you can't even see it if you do it once. But if you do it 3 or 4 times, it really makes a nice subtle difference in the sharpness. It makes it really look cool. That's called iterative unsharp. Okay, I like that. You can even come back in if you don't like that background being all hazy. You can adjust the background to be a little darker now. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, you can even take it all the way down to just a scary disc or whatever. You got a lot of flexibility when you stack images. So let's go with that. There, and boom, you're done. Now don't be crazy and put some silly copyright on your image, because there's always somebody out there better than you. But if you want to recrop it, make it look like it's all nice and centered, like you're the world's best perfect photographer, by centering your image perfectly every time. There you go. So I'm going to save this now. I was just kidding. I don't use copyrights because everything we do is freely shared. And I mean, really, is anybody really going to buy your solar image? I mean, come on. Okay, so save as. Let's save it as a JPEG so we can share it on Farcebook. And save it to there, there, there. Okay, so I'm going to exit Photoshop. It's going to ask me if I want to save the TIFF image, which I don't. And now we got this nice, there's the before, and there's the after. Before, after. See, just a little subtle processing really makes a big difference. Remember, the sun is not solid. There's no sharp edges on the sun. It's a gas, so don't go crazy. Anyway, that's what we got there. So now comes the fun part. You get to get online and act like you're the world's greatest solar imager by taking your little measly image that took you about 3 minutes to process and about 90 seconds to take and stick it on here on Facebook. There we go. It's not real unless it's on Facebook. So test image 2 from tutorial. How do you spell tutorial? Tutorial, exclamation point. That always makes it more serious. So now we've got it on here, and look how, look, I'm a superstar. I've got a solar image on Facebook. There you go. Anybody can do this in about 5 minutes or less. There's nothing to it. It is an extraordinarily easy hobby, and it's also a great hobby to share with other people to get them involved in science. Oh, look at that. I believe our image is upside down. Oops. All right, so let's go over here and delete this image. We forgot to flip our image. And what I mean flip the image is you got to have north up. So let's go back to Photoshop. Image. Flip vertical. Done. Is that right? Yeah, that's probably right. So save. Close. Get back on Photoshop or on Facebook. Flipped test image from tutorial. Exclamation point. Boom. Boom. Look at me. I'm a superstar on Facebook. Everybody look at me. Look at me. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope this gave you an idea of what processing a solar image is like and how incredibly easy it is to do. And we'll see you on the sun. www.solarastronomy.org.